We are supposed to be the screaming eagles, the elite 101st. But inside the belly of this C-47, there is no screaming. Only a silence so loud it drowns out the roar of the engines. We've been vibrating in this metal tube for an hour, shaking to our very bones, but it feels like an eternity. Looking at the faces around me in the dim light, I don't see soldiers anymore. I see men holding their breath, packed like cargo, praying that when the door opens, we don't fall straight into our graves. We aren't men right now. We are heavy cargo. They strapped 100 pounds of equipment to us, turning us into anchors waiting to drop. I'm weighed down so heavily that I feel glued to this bucket seat. Every turbulence makes the gears slam against my bones, a constant reminder of how helpless we are until that door opens. The smell in here is unbearable. Fuel, sickness, and sweat. It's the smell of men who know they are flying into a fire. It settles on your tongue, cold and metallic. I look down the line. I see faces I've known for 2 years of training. Toccoa, Benning, England. We ran Currahee Mountain together until our lungs burned. We know each other's stride, each other's laugh. But tonight, under the dim red combat lights, they look like strangers. They look like ghosts. Some represent the quiet ones. They have their eyes closed, lips moving silently. Are they praying? Maybe. Or maybe they're just counting seconds. Others are checking their gear for the 100th time. Check the static line hook. Check the harness. Check the reserve. It's a nervous tick. Something to do with your hands so they stop shaking. I reach into my pocket and touch the letter. I wrote it yesterday, addressed to my mother in Ohio. I told her not to worry. I told her the food was good and the English weather was improving. I lied. I touched the paper through the fabric, and for a split second, I'm back on the front porch, smelling fresh cut grass instead of burnt oil. Then the plane bucks violently, and I'm back in the dark. Nobody talks about what happens if the chute doesn't open. Nobody talks about the English Channel below us, dark and freezing. And nobody talks about what's waiting for us on the ground. We all saw the briefings, the sand tables. We know the Germans are down there. We know Rommel has flooded the fields and planted Rommel's asparagus, wooden poles tipped with mines designed to tear these gliders and paratroopers apart before we even touch the grass. Suddenly, the pitch of the engines changes. It's a lower, angrier growl. The pilot is dropping altitude. Then, the sound changes outside. It sounds like gravel being thrown against a tin roof. Ping, clack, thud, flak, someone whispers. It's not a question. I crane my neck to look out the small porthole window. It's a terrifying, beautiful nightmare. Tracers are arcing up from the black void below, long whips of green and yellow light. They look slow, almost graceful, until they whip past the wing. The sky is exploding. Black puffs of smoke appear out of nowhere. We are flying straight into a wall of iron. The plane lurches to the left. The pilot is taking evasive action. It's chaotic now. Men are grabbing the static line cable overhead to steady themselves. The mood shifts instantly. The silence is broken. The fear hardens into something else. Adrenaline. Focus. The crew chief stumbles out from the cockpit. He looks at the jump master. He holds up fingers. 5 minutes. 4. The jump master stands up. He's a silhouette against the open door at the rear. The wind is howling in from that open door now, a hurricane of cold air that cuts through the sweat on my face. He grabs the frame of the door to steady himself against the turbulence. He turns to us. His voice cuts through the roar of the engines, loud and commanding. "Stand up!" The struggle begins. Trying to stand up with 100 pounds of gear while the floor is pitching at a 45-degree angle is a war in itself. I grab the cable. I haul myself up. My knees scream under the weight. We are a line of heavy, stumbling dominoes. Hook up! I take the snap hook of my static line, the yellow lifeline that will pull my chute for me. I snap it onto the anchor cable running the length of the ceiling. I tug on it, hard. It holds. I check the man in front of me. The man behind me checks me. Check equipment. Hands patting down shoulders, checking buckles. A chain of trust. Sound off for equipment check. 10, okay. 9, okay. 8, okay. The count comes down the line, shouting over the deafening wind. My heart is hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. This is it. There is no turning back. The world has narrowed down to the man in front of me and the little light by the door. It's glowing red. I shuffle forward. The floor is slick. The plane is vibrating so hard my vision is blurring. We are so low now. I can feel the concussions of the flak exploding outside. We are at the door. I can see the night sky. It's not black. It's lit up by fires burning on the ground. Normandy is burning. The jump master is leaning out into the slipstream. He's looking for the drop zone. Or maybe he's just looking for a spot that isn't raining bullets. Time stops. Literally stops. I am standing on the precipice of the unknown. Behind me is the life I used to know. Ahead of me is history. Ahead of me is death or glory. And the line between them is razor thin. The light changes. Green light. Go, go, go! The shout is primal. The line surges forward. The man in front of me disappears into the howling dark. Then it's my turn. I place my hands on the door frame. The wind hits me like a physical blow, roaring at 150 miles per hour. I don't look down. I just throw myself into the void. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. The prop wash catches me, spinning me like a rag doll. And just like that, I am falling into the heart of Nazi Germany. The count doesn't matter anymore. The moment I leave the door, the world ends. The slipstream hits me like a freight train, a solid wall of wind moving at 150 miles an hour. It doesn't feel like falling. It feels like being ripped apart. My body is a rag doll, tossed and tumbled, spinning violently in the black void. I shut my eyes tight, tucking my chin, waiting for the snap, waiting for the life-saving jerk that tells me I'm not going to die in the next 10 seconds. Wham! The opening shock hits. It feels like a giant hand reached down from the heavens and grabbed me by the scruff of the neck. The harness digs into my groin and shoulders, knocking the wind out of me. But I'm alive. I look up. The canopy is open. A beautiful, pale white silk flower blooming against the nightmare sky. I check the risers. No twists. Thank God. But the relief lasts exactly one heartbeat. I look down. and my blood freezes. From inside the plane, the flak looked like fireworks. Up here, dangling in the harness, it looks like the end of the world. The sky is alive. It's a kaleidoscope of death. Tracers, green, yellow, and red, are arcing up from the ground in lazy, hypnotic streams. They look slow at first, almost graceful, floating up toward me. Then, as they pass, they accelerate into a blur of light. Zip, zip, crack. I am not a soldier anymore. I am a clay pigeon. I am a hanging duck, drifting at 14 feet per second through a storm of hot metal. I try to slip the chute, pulling on the risers to steer away from the thickest concentration of fire, but the wind is fighting me. I look around for my stick. My brothers. Where are they? The formation is gone. The sky is full of planes, but they are scattered, breaking apart, engines screaming as they dive to avoid the slaughter. I see another chute about 200 yards away catch fire. It just ignites. A flare of orange in the dark, and then it drops like a stone. I force myself to look away. Don't look at him. Focus. Find the ground. But where is the ground? Below me, the darkness is absolute, broken only by the flashes of the 20mm flak guns. I can't see the drop zone. I can't see the signal fires. I can't see the Pathfinder lights. We were supposed to land in consolidated drop zones, but this is chaos. I'm miles off target. I know it in my gut. I'm dropping fast now. Too fast. The equipment is heavy. My leg bag, strapped to my ankle with my heavier gear, is swinging violently below me. I reach down to release the lowering line, to let the bag drop 20 feet below me so I don't break my legs on impact. The knot is jammed. My fingers are numb from the cold, fumbling with the wet canvas. I curse. I curse the bag. I curse the pilot. I curse the war. Suddenly, the ground rushes up to meet me. It's not a field. It's not grass. It shines. It reflects the moonlight and the explosions. Water. Rommel flooded the fields. The briefing mentioned it, but they said it was shallow. From up here, it looks like an ocean. I brace for impact, knees bent, feet and knees together, eyes on the horizon. Relax, I tell myself. Relax, or you'll break every bone in your body. Splash. Cold. Shocking, freezing cold. I don't hit the ground. I plunge into black, murky water. It goes over my head. The weight of the gear, the ammunition, the rations, the radio batteries, the rifle, it acts like an anchor. I am sinking immediately. The parachute, now a wet shroud, collapses on top of me, threatening to entangle me in a deadly net of silk and cord. Panic kicks in. Pure animal panic. I thrash in the water, my boots stuck in the mud at the bottom. The water is chest deep, maybe deeper. I gasp for air and get a mouthful of stagnant swamp water. The chute. Get out of the chute. I claw at my chest, finding the release buckle. My fingers are slipping. I can't feel the mechanism. I yank off one glove with my teeth and spit it out. I jam my thumb into the release. Click. The harness loosens. I shrug it off, fighting the weight of the waterlogged pack. I drag myself toward a cluster of reeds, gasping, coughing, shivering violently. I crawl up onto a small, muddy bank, half in, half out of the water. I collapse, chest heaving. I lay there for a minute, just listening to my own heart hammer against the wet earth. Then, The realization settles in. I am alone. Total, crushing isolation. I scan the darkness. Flash, I whisper the challenge word. Silence. Flash, I say it a little louder. Nothing. No thunder in response. No click of the cricket. I check my gear. My rifle is wet, covered in muck. My map is soaked. I have no idea where I am. I could be 5 miles from the objective. I could be 50. The grand invasion force, the thousands of ships, the thousands of planes. They feel like a dream now. Here, in this swamp, there is only the mud, the cold, and the dark. Then I hear it. Voices. Not the low, drawling voices of boys from Texas or Brooklyn. These voices are sharp, guttural. Halt! There está! My blood turns to ice. They are close, maybe 50 yards. I can see the beam of a flashlight cutting through the mist, sweeping over the water where I just landed. They are hunting. They saw the chutes coming down. They know we are here. I slowly unsheath my trench knife. The metal scrapes faintly against the leather scabbard. I freeze. Did they hear that? The flashlight sweeps again, closer this time. It catches the white silk of my abandoned parachute floating on the water. The voices get louder, excited. They found the chute. Now they are looking for the man. I press my face into the mud. The smell of the earth is overwhelming. I am shivering from the cold, but I force my body to be still. I am a ghost. I have to be a ghost. I am 19 years old. I am alone in a French swamp, and half the German army is looking for me. The invasion hasn't even started yet, and I'm already fighting for my life. I don't know how long I've been crawling. Minutes, hours. Time doesn't exist in the hedgerows. These aren't just bushes. They are ancient, tangled walls of roots and thorns, thick enough to stop a tank and tall enough to hide an army. I am moving through a maze, inch by inch, dragging my wet body through the mud. Every shadow looks like a German helmet. Every rustle of leaves sounds like a bolt being racked. My finger is welded to the trigger of my M1. I'm shivering, not just from the cold swamp water soaking my uniform, but from the adrenaline crash. I am a predator, and I am prey. I stop. A sound. It's distinct, sharp, mechanical. It cuts through the hum of the crickets and the distant boom of artillery. Click-clack. My heart stops. I freeze against the roots of an old oak tree. Was it a weapon? A safety being switched off? Or was it him? I reach into the small pocket of my jump jacket. My fingers brush against the cold brass of the little toy. The cricket. They gave them to us a few days ago. A child's toy to identify friend from foe. 1 click is the challenge. 2 clicks is the response. But the Germans aren't stupid. We were told they might capture our crickets. They might be baiting us. I swallow hard. My mouth is dry as dust. If I'm wrong, if I reveal my position to a Jerry patrol, I'm dead. Simple as that. But if that's a brother out there, I take a breath, hold it, and press down on the metal tongue of the clicker. Click. The sound seems deafening in the silence. It echoes like a gunshot in my own ears. I wait. 1 second. 2 seconds. The longest 2 seconds of my life. From the darkness ahead, behind a thick wall of hawthorn, it comes back. Click, clack. Relief washes over me so hard my knees almost give out. It's the sweetest sound I have ever heard. Flash, I whisper hoarsely. Thunder, the voice comes back. A strained American whisper. A figure separates itself from the shadows. He's covered in mud, his face blackened with camo paint, his helmet slightly askew. I don't recognize him. I see the patch on his shoulder, the AA of the 82nd Airborne. He's miles off target, just like me. We don't salute, we don't embrace. We just look at each other. And in that look, there is a whole conversation. You made it. I made it. We aren't dead yet. Where are we? He asks. France, I say. That's all I know. We keep moving. And slowly, miraculously, the darkness begins to yield more of us. It's like magnetism. We find 2 more guys from Easy Company in a ditch, then a pathfinder who lost his beacon, then a lost lieutenant from the 506th who was limping on a twisted ankle but refusing to stop. We are a motley crew, a mix of units, ranks, and specialties. We are the little groups of paratroopers, lost, confused, but dangerous. We don't have our heavy weapons. We don't have our radios. We don't have orders anymore because the plan went out the window the moment we left the planes. But we have each other, and we have the training. The lieutenant gathers us in the corner of a field, shielded by a stone wall. There are about 12 of us now. All right, listen up, he whispers. I don't care what unit you're from. I don't care what your rank is. Right now, we are a combat team. We have a job to do. He pulls out a map, shielding it with his raincoat while he strikes a match. The flame illuminates our faces, young, terrified, exhausted, and fierce. We're here. He points a dirty finger at a crossroads. The beach is that way. Utah Beach. In a few hours, the infantry is going to hit that sand. If we don't clear these causeways, if we don't silence those guns, our boys on the beach are going to be slaughtered. He looks up at us. The match burns down to his fingertips, and he flicks it away. We move out in 5. Check your ammo. We move. We move with purpose now. We aren't hiding, we are hunting. We ambush a German supply truck. We cut telephone lines. We are chaos agents behind enemy lines. And then, the sky begins to change. The ink-black night slowly bleeds into a bruised purple, then a cold steel gray. The mist hangs low over the fields, clinging to the dead cows that were caught in the crossfire. It's June 6th, and with the light comes the sound. At first, it's a low rumble, like a thunderstorm approaching from the sea. We stop and look toward the coast. The rumble grows. It deepens. It becomes a continuous rolling roar that shakes the ground beneath our boots. Do you hear that? The kid from the 82nd asks, eyes wide. That's the Navy, I say. A grin cracks through the dried mud on my face. It's the battleships, the Texas, the Nevada, the Arkansas. They are opening up. 14-inch guns hurling car-sized shells over our heads, aiming for the German bunkers on the coast. The sound is like freight trains tearing through the sky. Whoosh, boom. Whoosh, boom. It's the most beautiful symphony of destruction I've ever heard. It means we aren't alone anymore. It means the invasion is on. We crest a small hill. Below us, in the lifting fog, we see it. A German artillery battery. 4 105mm howitzers dug in, aiming toward the beach. They are getting ready to fire on the landing craft. The lieutenant looks at us. There are 12 of us. There are 50 of them. He checks his Thompson submachine gun. He looks at me. I grip my Garand. My hands aren't shaking anymore. The fear is gone, replaced by a cold, hard resolve. I survived the jump. I survived the flak. I survived the swamp. I didn't come this far to watch from the sidelines. Fix bayonets, the lieutenant whispers. The metallic click of steel locking onto rifles ripples down the line. The sun is breaking over the horizon. The longest night is over. The longest day has just begun. Let's go, I whisper, and we charge into history.